Morning, Australia. My name's Georgia, and for the next hour, I'm going to take you on some of my favourite musical adventures on Rage. So this is very exciting. Stick around. So I worked with Gorillaz. Yeah, that was quite a moment. That was one of those pinch yourself moments because obviously huge fan of theirs, and Damon's sort of huge fan. This was an amazing moment for me because it was also it was a Gorillaz track featuring me and Peter Hook. Those of you that don't know Peter Hook, he was one of the founding members of Joy Division and then went on to form New Order. Just an incredible bass player and incredible personality as well, for those of you who have heard stories about Hooky. And yeah, it was just amazing to be in the studio with Damon and Hooky, like two of your kind of musical idols. This is Aries featuring me and Peter Hook by Gorillaz. So in 2020, around sort of October time, Haim actually asked me to support them on their UK arena tour. So that was a big moment for me because they're one of my favourite bands ever. And it was a real joy to get to watch them every night, just how talented and amazing they are. So when it came to, you know, picking some songs, I always go to Haim because they're my favourite band of all time. And there's a little connection because Rostam produced their last record. When Rostam and I made contact, which was like in 2019, I was very aware that he was working with Haim, and it made me very excited because I love them. I'm a big fangirl. So yeah, this is Haim, Summer Girl, and a great video, Paul Thomas Anderson. The next video I've picked is by a very good friend of mine called Mura Masa. I actually worked on Mura Masa's album for this song, and I wouldn't have met Rostam, who helped me produce my latest record, without featuring on a Mura Masa track. So that's why I thought I had to include it. So this is Mura Masa featuring Clairo. Flaming Lips. This is just, they're one of my favourite bands ever, and Wayne is actually a really good friend of mine and was very instrumental in kind of me starting out as a singer, as a performer. I played a festival in the UK called Wilderness, and Flaming Lips were headlining. And as I was playing, I looked side of stage and Wayne was just standing there and I was like, oh my God, it's Wayne Coyne. And then after that, he invited me out to his house in Oklahoma, and we made music and just hung out, and I try and go around there every year. So Wayne's a huge influence, and he's just, you know, one of the greatest, I think, of all time. And I particularly love this song, The Wand. If you can catch them live, go see them live. They're very raucous. So enjoy. Well, I mean, what can you say about George Michael? Very hot topic of the moment with the Wham documentary on Netflix. I think everyone is just really taken to that documentary. I first got played Careless Whisper when I was about 15, 14 by my dad, and he used to tell me that George wrote this song at the age of 16, and I never used to believe him. Like, how could somebody write such a perfect song so young? And of course it is absolutely true. I just a huge fan of George Michael, and ended up recently, me and Ollie Alexander from Years and Years, we ended up covering a song by George called Outside, and that's on an Apple Music sort of George Michael special. So he's a huge influence. So I actually In 2019, I played Ibiza, which is an island off Spain, in the Balearic sort of islands that has a deep connection to kind of dance music. And I used to go there a lot as a child because my dad is Neil Barnes, who's in Leftfield, who, those of you might know him, kind of big dance band from the 90s. And in 2019, I was DJing over there, and I had this, like, there's a DJ called Ashley Beadle, and he did Running Up That Hill dance edit, where he just kind of repeated the and so I mixed that in with another record, and then I was like, oh my god, this is actually quite cool. Like, what about if I covered Running Up That Hill and did it in this kind of like dance floory way? So and at the time I was kind of playing live shows and we were looking to cover a song, and so we ended up working on this backing track for a cover. And I started to play it live, and not many people would recognise it. Like, those sort of hardcore Kate Bush fans would. As soon as I'd play the intro, dun 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 dun, people would go, oh, I know this song. And then, of course, fast forward 3 years and Stranger Things comes out, and obviously the kind of hysteria around Running Up That Hill. I when I would play the song, you know, everyone would just go crazy, you know. So it was amazing seeing the impact that show had on that song. It's such an amazing moment for Kate Bush, and I'm a huge fan. I can't really explain how much she is such an influence on me. It kind of goes very deep. All her records, every single record, I just think is a work of art. And I love that she pushes boundaries. She's in her own lane. She's not concerned about, you know, trends or whatever. She's just like making music for herself. I really admire that. So this is Running Up That Hill. Also a great video. Kind of highlights her dancing abilities as well, which at the time went hand in hand with her music. So yeah, this is Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill. Hey, thanks for joining me for this last hour. If you like what you hear, come back a bit later and see my full-length 5-hour show. It's really fun. I'll leave you with my single, It's Euphoric, and the music video. I hope you enjoy. Hi, I'm Georgia, and I'm taking over Rage all night long just for you. Woo! MGMT were a band that kind of hit the UK by storm. They kind of know that Time to Pretend sort of came out, and it was like, what is this sound? It just sounded like nothing else. And I sort of would do a lot of research into kind of like who was behind the mixing, producing, and blah, blah, blah. And a name came up called Dave Fridman. And I've always kind of followed Dave Fridman. Like, who is he? This kind of like maverick mixer producer from upstate New York. He also works with Flaming Lips very closely. And did work with Mercury Rev, and actually did the sort of, I think, mix the first 2 Tame Impala records. And then when it came to mixing my record, Euphoric, Rostam said, why don't we work with Dave Fridman? And I was like, oh, what? No. Amazing. Yes, let's work with Dave Fridman. He did my favorite, you know, MGMT record and like all these amazing artists. And Rostam was like, yeah, I've worked with him loads. Let's go to his studio in upstate New York and mix the whole record. So I was like, wow, this is incredible. So we actually ended up staying with Dave for 3 weeks in Buffalo and mixing the new record with him. So it was a crazy, crazy journey. and just so privileged to have worked with Dave and been in the studio where actually this song was created. So yeah, it was amazing. Big up Dave Fridman. Hi, I'm Georgia and you're watching Rage. So I felt like I had to include my favourite band of all time. This is The Cure, Pictures of You. I love this album, Disintegration, such an amazing record from start to finish, and really inspired some of the kind of musicalities for my own record, Euphoric, particularly the song The Dream on my record. We were listening to a lot of the kind of bass licks and all of that. So yeah, enjoy. This is Pictures of You by The Cure. So I had to include a Rostam song. This is his first band, Vampire Weekend. And Rostam actually produced the first two records, produced Oxford Karma. Yeah, what an amazing band, amazing story. Yeah, it was such a privilege to work with Rostam. He was, you know, he's just such an amazing producer, person, just all round lovely person who I love very dearly. And yeah, it's nice to see him in his early stages of his career in this video, and yeah, it's just really sweet and innocent, and I really used to absolutely adore this band. Any chance that they were playing UK, I was there seeing them. So this is Vampire Weekend. Wow, we're up late, we're on Rage, we've got fantastic music videos, this is the place to be. Lana Del Rey, yeah, she's such an amazing artist. The reason why I picked this song was, I think, not only because it's like one of the greatest songs of our generation, but she wrote it with a songwriter called Justin Parker, who I ended up working with on my record, Euphoric, for a song called So What. Me and Justin worked in the studio for 3 days writing that song, and when he told me, oh, I actually, yeah, you might know a song that I've written. It's called Video Games by Lana Del Rey. And I was sat there like, what? You know, like, get out of here. So, yeah, just any excuse to hear this song. And also the video's particularly amazing as well, I think. Kind of the aesthetic of Lana's world, it's great. This song, I think, is probably one of my favourite songs of all time. I mean, Rihanna is like, she's just like the artist for me. Like, she's so cool, and like just style and swagger, and like her last record, Anti, I just thought was such a work of art. Again, I picked this song because this was actually written by Justin Parker again, who helped me write So What. So another big reveal when in the studio with Justin, he was like, oh yeah, you might know, I wrote a song called Stay by Rihanna. And I was like, what? No way. Like, yeah, so it needs no introduction really. This is Rihanna, Stay. Sampha is a dear friend of mine. We came up in the same kind of music scene in London, particularly kind of focused in around the record label Young and XL. He was a huge musical talent from the get-go. I used to play drums for a artist called Quest, who was signed to Young, and we did many gigs with Sampha, and he'd be on his piano singing away, and everyone would just be like, wow, who is this guy? You know, it's amazing voice. So, yeah, it's great when you're all the way around the other side of the planet, down under, to see your friends, doing well. Yeah, it's particularly an artist like him. He's had such sort of, success, like Kendrick Lamar kind of featuring him on an album and singing, and like he's just really killing it right now. It's brilliant. So this is Sampha, my dear, dear friend. Hi, I'm Georgia, and I'm on the iconic red couch. Don't go to sleep. We've got some amazing music coming up. So stay tuned. You're watching Rage. Madonna's Ray of Light, as a whole record, is probably one of my favourite records of all time. I just love the fact that the biggest pop star of the time just kind of took this curveball and went completely in a totally kind of new direction. And I love that she kind of focused in on the underground dance scene, worked with William Orbit on this record. And this song, it's just such a timeless Madonna track. And I love the video. The video is like iconic, isn't it? So, it's just got energy and makes you just want to get up and dance and face the world. I love it. Prince. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about Prince, because it's just like, we all know his influence and prolific work. I played his music from a very early age. My dad was a particularly big Prince fan, because I think he practically recorded everything himself in his makeshift studio, and like it's just quite amazing to think that on an 8-track recorder he came up with all these creative sounds and maverick sort of sound recording things. I don't know, it's just like the world of Prince kind of blows my mind. I don't think anyone can really understand it. He's just like a total enigma, maybe. But yeah, this is Prince. I think I chose I Would Die For You. Enjoy. Hey everyone, you're about to watch my video for Give It Up For Love. It's a leap of faith video. You'll get the reference when you watch it. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Rage. This is a music video about running through life and perhaps missing some of the moments because we're sprinting towards this finish line. Quite deep, but this is the video for It's Euphoric. Some Things You'll Never Know video is about energy, going out with your mates, having that wild night, and just feeling really empowered by it. And this is Some Things You'll Never Know. Happy New Year, Australia. Wow, come on. Incredible. Thank you to Rage for asking me to pick the next party anthem. I think I've gone for Prince 1999 because you want to see the new year into this song. Hope everyone has a great night. Lots of love.